Vicky, Marie, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world that we're living in. And as we know how crazy it is, it's very, very crazy, isn't it? It's very, 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 very crazy. So I've got quite a lot that I want to say and talk to you about, show you. After this sort of revelation, if you can call it that, personally I won't call it a revelation. Just anyway, after this news, well, it's not even new sonar imagery, is it? After, we all know what's happened. I am not going to mention Mr. Ego's name. I don't want to see his face. I don't want to mention his name, and I don't want to hear his voice. So you won't be hearing that. If you've come on here thinking you're going to hear anything from him, you won't. This is just me. I want to explain something. I've done a lot of thinking since all this happened. Oh my God, this last day, there's been like a feeling of PTSD. It's like going back in time, Groundhog Day, going back, all the nastiness, all the horrible people coming out the woodwork. It's like it's all gone back to a couple of years ago, which I thought I had left behind. And I've had a lot of emails, a lot of messages. People have left comments, some good, some bad. And I've had to weigh it all up and think about it and think, what am I going to take? Or where am I going to take this? Or am I even going to take it anywhere? Am I even going to, talk about it? Am I going to, I just feel that whatever I do, it won't please everyone, of course. But of course, you can expect that on social media. You can't please all the people all the time. I know that. I'm not here to please people. I'm here to say what I think and my genuine feelings about things. Whether they agree with them or not is another matter, but anything that I say on my channel, I genuinely think and feel, and I don't make things up. I don't, clickbait or anything like that. I just try and say things either as they are or as I think they are for whatever reason. So I realise that what I'm going to say in this video won't please everybody. But, the other thing that I know, at the end of the day, I'm a small YouTube channel. I'm two YouTube channels because I've got two channels, of course, that I stream to. And in total, I've probably got 8,000 subscribers. But my channel grows slowly. Carries on growing, it grows slowly. There are lots of things I could do to make it grow more quickly, like clickbait or go along with the opinion of the day. That's not something I'm ever going to do. I'm just going to I give my opinion. That's another thing probably I shouldn't do because people don't always like it. When you give your opinion, they can agree with you 9 times and the 10th time they don't, and that's it. They're unsubscribed. Well, that's fine, but then they're not loyal subscribers. The people on my channel, the subscribers on my channel and my members especially, we know we can disagree. It doesn't mean we hate each other. This is the world today. It's like, if you don't agree with me, I hate you. You're stupid. You're an idiot. No. We can all disagree. Everyone has their views. It's like people hate me because I don't think that PF is God's gift. That's just what I think. Do you like everybody? There's probably people I think are God's gift that you don't like. That's how it is, isn't it? We're not clones. We're not Coca-Cola bottles, just all like the same thing. Anyway, so apart from that, so what I've done, I've thought about it. I got in sleep last night thinking about it. I've cried today thinking about it. And that really is what made me make my decision. Because I thought, if this is making me feel like this, I'm just a YouTuber who's talked about this as one of the many cases that I've talked about. How is this making Nicola's family feel. How does it feel, do you think, to see somebody saying that this is your loved one dead in the water? How do you think that makes them feel? And those young girls that will be teenagers in the not far too distant future, going through it all again after it had all died down. Where's your humanity for them? And this man that has done this, he doesn't care about any of that. He said, he's always saying, oh, no, the respect for the family and the victims. He doesn't care about things. We're going to have a look what kind of man this is. Because it's all about him. I'm not saying he's a terrible person or anything, but he doesn't care. It's all about him and his ego and what he wants to prove, regardless of those girls. So at the end of this, there's some questions that I would ask to this person if I had the opportunity to ask him, see what his answers are. See the tough questions that he never gets asked. Never gets asked the tough questions, does he? It's just all, oh, Peter's a god. God, I mentioned his name then, actually. I didn't mean to do that. He's a god and we all worship him. Well, I don't, I'm afraid. He's got feet of clay. I used to worship, I didn't worship him, but I thought he was the bee's knees at one point, but now I know better. So, yeah, the family are now the thing is, a couple of years ago when this case was going on, it was like an infectious madness almost, wasn't it? And we all cared about Nicola, felt wrong to all of us that it wasn't an accidental death. Well, I say all of us, not all of us. Some people do think that. But do you know what I'm saying? It's like, but it was a different time. It was like there was this sort of, and I was caught up in it too. I'm not, saying that I didn't get caught up in things. I did. And because I was constantly bombarded as well by emails, by photos, by this, that, and the other. And you start to think, oh, what has happened here? What actually has happened here? I still don't know what happened. I still don't know what happened because I wasn't, nobody knows exactly what happened. It may be that there was some foul play, but, how will we ever know? And another thing I want to say is if this new sort of podcast and the information that's been shared, if I thought it could make any difference, seriously, what difference does it make? If let's suppose for a minute that was poor Nicola, what difference does it make to anything? What's he talking about when he says he's going to go to Keir Starmer and get him to reopen the case? Now, maybe he will. Believe me, if tomorrow it was announced that the case was being reopened, there was nobody would be happier than me if there was something to get found out. As long as the girls are happy with that and the family are happy with that. The other thing is, he's made this statement that, oh, the family are aware of this. In what way are they aware of it that he's released this? What, did he send them an email? He can't phone them up because they blocked him. Let's not forget, they don't even speak to him. They stopped speaking to him. They were angry with him at the inquest. So what does it mean that the family are aware? How did he let them know? How does he know they're aware of this? Or did he get the Daily Mail to tell them? Maybe, they're running this story. He's just full of it, isn't he? How did he? I just want you to think for a minute, all of you. Imagine that was your loved one. Their body, he's saying it's her body, being brandished all over social media like that. Imagine that. Not taking it privately to the family, to the authorities, to whoever the relevant people are, but going to YouTubers. And I'm not being funny, but they're not even big YouTubers. They're not. Why didn't he go to James English with it? Why has it gone all the way to America? And he's found this guy and that's the other thing that's driving me absolutely bonkers. Nobody has verified these images. They're not verified. He's finally found someone after nearly 3 years to say there's a probability or a possibility that it could be a body. Nobody's verified it. Nobody. Anyway, exactly. All the footage should have gone to the police, the authorities. It's not, or even the family privately, or a private investigator. I expect Mark Williams Twonk has seen it all anyway. But yeah, why go to YouTube about it? You know, it's just, honestly, the more I think about it, and that's why I've got to stop thinking about it, because it's affecting my mental health. So this brings me back to what I was saying. If it's affecting my mental health, and it's not even my family, my mother, my sister, my daughter, and how it's making me feel, I cannot imagine how this family are feeling. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Now, the other thing, sorry, I should have said hello to people in the chat. I'm just getting carried away as I do. Hi, David. Hi, Lily. Hi, Little Miss Sunshine. Hi, Blank Faces. Hi, Lily. Did I say hi, Lily? Oh, sorry. My head is all over the place with this. Hi, Princess Tippy Toes. Oh, you're on your son's YouTube. So yeah, I found this video that I did a year ago, because this all happened before I was being drawn in. The more I've tried to, follow the family's wishes and step back, not talk about this case anymore, let Nicola lie in peace until or unless some more proper information comes up, I made this video, and I'm going to play it. It's called, I don't know if you saw it at the time. It didn't have that many views, to be honest. But this is the video that I made a year ago, and I'm going to play it again because this is how I feel again. I feel like I've got to do this again. And it was a video almost just saying goodbye to the case. It was probably, I don't know if it was after the documentary. I can't remember, but I think I'd just got to that point then where I was just thinking, I can't do this anymore, you know? Now, I want to put a picture of Nicola up as I'm playing it. Yeah. And the Nicola effect, that was another video that I did because, it was this why did Nicola's case affect us so much? I mean, people are going missing day in, day out, but this is my favourite picture of Nicola, even though she does look extremely sad on there. I think she just, to me, she looks really sad. That's the feeling I get of her. But her with the lamb there, I love that photo of her, because I think it just shows, I know there's lots of lovely pictures of Nicola, of course, where she's made up and she looks perfect. She's a very photogenic person. But this one, I thought you saw a bit more the real Nicola, like how anxious she was, etc. But anyway, let me play this video. Letter to Nicola Bulley. And this is how I feel now as well. But I just wanted to play it to you. Letter to Nicola Bulley. On the 27th of January 2023, you said goodbye to your girls, never to be seen alive again. You left Willow behind, her harness, your phone. Mid-Teams call, you vanished, no trace. She was all alone. Where did you go, Nikki? What happened to you? 23 days passed before we found the truth. Meanwhile, the rumours, the anger, the spite, trolls saying they cared, but you would not think it right to be so nasty, to be such a bully, all in the name of Nicola Bulley. The inquest arrived. It came and it went. No real answers, no closure, but the family content.
The police reports, the docos, the videos, the tweets. Meanwhile, nothing feels right, only questions and repeats. So many questions, so many doubts, timeline discrepancies, internet louts, disrespect for your memory, fabrication of truth. Time to investigate in silence and stop being uncouth. For me, it will always be a case of foul play, but the how and the why is elusive today. If more facts come out, I will then not miss being public again in the fight for justice. But for now, in public, I will not discuss anymore what happened that cold winter's day. Just pray for your peace and that your girls, though without you, will find their way. Sleep tight, Nicola.
Hi, yeah. So, I've always thought that it was an accidental death, but I don't know what it is. So, anyway, so when I released that video, it was because I just had to switch off, and I have tried so hard not to come back to this, but I'm conscious that like my followers, my members, you have an interest in it. And so I'm always, the people, I don't care about the trolls and things like that, but obviously the people that I do want to be happy with my videos, etc., are my followers, my subscribers, my regular watchers, my members, etc. I do care what they think. Of course I do. But I just had to get away from it. And all the time, people are trying to suck me into it all the time. I get messages and I have to just say, look, yeah, but I'm not going back into that or whatever. There's always someone trying to suck you back into it. And I have to stand back from that sometimes. And now, of course, this has all happened again. And oh gosh, I was watching something last night, and, you see all the same people that 2-3 years ago were all saying the same things. And, some of the most nastiest people on the chat saying, be kind. It's like, yeah, be kind. Be kind. Really, oh my God, trolls, nasty people who've been nothing but nasty, certainly to me, but also to other people. They're in the chat going, be kind. It's just, honestly, this is what I mean, my mental health can't take it. It just cannot take it, I'm afraid, because the hypocrisy of people, really, all they're interested in is proving how brilliant Mr. Ego is. It's not about Nicola. None of this is about Nicola. It's not about Nicola. It's not about. Do you think Nicola would have been happy? To me, it seems like everything points to the fact she was a really nice person. She wouldn't have liked all these horrible trolls and things. She would have hated it, wouldn't she? And I'll tell you another thing she would have hated. Now, I'm just giving you a warning now. I'm going to tell you another reason why I don't like Mr. Ego, and this all comes down to the Huntingdon Sciences, that he did the protester removal for Huntingdon Sciences, and he had it proudly displayed on his website until he realised that people didn't like it, and then he whipped it off, because that's the other thing he does. He like manipulates his social media. Lots of things is put on, taken off. He blocked me years ago before I'd never even said anything on his social media. That's because he's a friend of Mark Williams Twonk, and I had made comments on Mark Williams Twonk's social media because there's money in it for him. He's always saying that Oscar Pistorius is innocent. Oscar Pistorius is the Blade Runner, the guy with no legs, who was a sprinter, South African shot his girlfriend on Valentine's Day, said he thought she was an intruder. She was in the bathroom. Mark has, openly said he thinks he's innocent. So I had made comments about that on his social media. And I said, well, sorry, I just don't agree with this. And that's when I lost respect for Mark. And then the next minute, Peter Folding blocked me on everything. I never even had any conversations with him. So that's probably one of the questions I'd like to ask him. Did you have a conversation? And then I was a tiny channel then. I'm not a big channel now. I'm still a tiny channel, but I was really tiny channel then. Probably only had, I don't know, maybe 2,000 subscribers at the most. And I wasn't even streaming to my Spanish channel at the same time. So I didn't have many subscribers on there either. So then you start to think, what are you frightened of? That you're going to block someone with a little channel like that, actually block them from, because they said to your mate that they didn't agree with him about Oscar Pistorius. But anyway, that's another thing. But the thing that I really want to talk about is the Huntingdon Sciences. And I've got a warning now. I'm not showing any pictures, but I just want people to, maybe people don't know what Huntingdon Sciences is. If you're thinking that Mr. Ego is a nice person, maybe you'd say, oh, well, it was just work. It was just work. You've got to have some principles in your work. Got to have some ethics. So these were protesters at the Huntingdon Sciences thing. It's still there in Cambridgeshire. It's just called something different now, I think. I think they're still doing it, still testing on the beagles, but it's more, hopefully, more controlled. But just let you know what they were doing there, what people were protesting against, that this man sent his protester removal people in. Could he not have said no to that job? Could it? Because he's supposed to be an animal lover. He's not a bloody animal lover. I'll tell you that for a fact. He's literally not an animal lover that I would think of an animal lover. Let's have a look. So this all, of course, was happening. It was a big thing, a big story. This article is more than 21 years old. So it's an old article. It's from 2004. And this is what, now I might cry just reading it. As I said, there's no photos. I won't be showing any photos, but I just want to warn you. Oh, my little dog has come up to give me a cuddle. Oh, Riley. I know, you know what, when you think about animal cruelty in the world, what's going on all over the world, you can't think about it again for your mental health. It's hard, isn't it? So beagles have been gassed until they passed out in secret tests to monitor the effects of a chemical that was banned more than 15 years ago. Confidential documents reveal how the bodies of the dogs would convulse violently during recent experiments at the controversial Huntingdon Life Sciences Laboratory. Maybe he could have been there protesting with the protesters instead of trying to break the protesters up. The news has reignited the debate. Riley, I just don't understand how people can be cruel to animals. I literally do not understand it. I know, you talk, oh, well, we eat meat and this, that, and the other. That is different. And it's still wrong, but it's still different. The news has reignited the debate over the use of animals in experiments. Campaigners vowed last night to escalate their attempts to close down the Cambridgeshire site. Oh, baby. While scientists defended the experiments as essential. They're not essential, but anyway, never mind. Scientists use the dogs to test the effects of HCFC chemicals, which, because of their ozone depleting properties, ministers agreed to begin phasing out under the Montreal Protocol in 1987. They have been banned in foams and solvents, but still exist in old equipment. Right, so just again a warning. Detailed papers leaked to the Observer record how the bodies of beagles would shake and sway as the creatures displayed various symptoms of agitation until they finally lost consciousness. The effects increased markedly the greater dose of the chemical, a refrigerant once widely used in aerosols and fire extinguishers. The protesters that Mr. Ego removed, the protesters claim that the tests to measure the effect of hydrochlorofluorocarbons on the heart were futile because the substance is being taken out of use. However, scientists at the laboratory said the experiments were crucial to understanding the effects of the chemical on people. The laboratory, which is protected by a 10-foot security fence, is the target of an intense closure campaign by the animal rights organisation SHAC, Stop Huntingdon Animal Cruelty. Protests against the laboratory began after a TV documentary in 1997 that showed the staff kicking a beagle and hurling it against a wall. Now, you know, it's just horrible. Very, very horrible. I just, you know, these things are going on all over the world every day. I know that. But, you know, the point that I'm trying to make is you're talking about a person that sent his protester removal people in on a job. And people say, oh, well, it was just a job, but you couldn't do that if you cared about animals. You say, sorry, this job's not for me. Lots of other protester removals you could do. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he did apparently the protester removal was Swampy, wasn't it? The environmental protesters. You know, maybe he doesn't care about the environment, but it's not the same as this. He's supposed to be an animal lover. He's not an animal lover. So last night, a spokesman for the controversial group, which has been at the centre of allegations involving violent and intimidatory tactics against HLS staff, condemned the experiments as disgusting. He warned that support for the laboratory's closure had reached a historical high, with 2,000 hardcore members prepared to battle until the site is shut down. In these experiments, you can see dogs struggling, vomiting, passing out. Where are the politicians condemning these experiments? Now, the thing is, we don't get to see all these things. As I think if you were watching my live earlier, a video did pop up on my TikTok at one of these places, and it popped up and I'd seen it before, you know, I could stop it. And I still haven't stopped thinking about that. But the thing is, because we can't see these things going on, it's like we try and pretend they're not happening. It's the same, really, with eating meat. You know, we eat meat, but if we saw what went on in slaughterhouses, we saw the reality of it, we probably wouldn't. You know, but it's like it's all packaged for us in the supermarket, and it doesn't look like what it is. But that's for survival, isn't it? For eating is for survival. These are dogs as well. You know, there's, you know, maybe we shouldn't distinguish between animals, but we do. Most of you watching have a dog, you know, and your dog's probably treated like a king or a queen. So why these dogs being treated like this? You either believe that dogs feel or have a soul or whatever, or you don't. If you have a dog and you support this man. Now, and the other thing is, if he didn't care about dogs, and he doesn't care about Nicola's children, don't you see that? Doesn't care. During the beagle testing, which ended last year, scientists fed it through pipes to gas masks attached to the faces of male beagles 7 to 8 months old. Puppies, 7 to 8 months old. Not that it makes any difference if they weren't, but do you know what I mean? It's like these are little baby dogs. Their records, their notes record the dogs enduring varying degrees of discomfort from pouring of the mask, jerking of heads, whole body tremors, and an inability to focus properly. Some of the dogs lost consciousness after being exposed to the gas for up to 14 minutes during the experiments conducted last summer. Some beagles appeared subdued after the test. I bet they were fucking subdued. But a spokesman said, oh no, they did not suffer lasting effects and they could be reused in later experiments. How bloody brilliant. How brilliant that they could be reused in further experiments. So that is Huntingdon Life Sciences. So a question I would give to Mr. Ego, well, maybe he'll say, oh, it was just a job. But then what I'd like to ask him is, why did you take off the Huntingdon Life Sciences off your website? If you're proud, you were proud of it. You were broadcasting it all over your website. And then when you got sort of caught out, I mean, you know, we've got screenshots, so it doesn't matter because we know that it was there. After you got caught out, you whipped it off. Why did you take it off? Were you ashamed of it? Did you think it might affect your popularity? Because probably most of your top fans have got dogs, feel for dogs, wouldn't like that. Why did you take it off? You're a manipulator. So, yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to show. And I'm sorry, as I say, I'm sorry that it was so graphic. But, you know, you need to know what this person is all about. So, yeah, why? Where's the other questions? So all your double speak, you know, about, oh, it's all about the family. I care about the family. You know, remember when you said originally you would never release those sonar images out of respect for Nicola's family? Do you remember that? So you said you would, so why now is it everywhere? Well, it's been everywhere for ages, but now it's the actual. So have you got a new, like, tool that can, you know, my feeling is that it's taken you nearly 3 years to find somebody who'll even say that it's possibly a body. What other people have you presented it to? Have you ever presented it to anyone who said, oh no, I couldn't confirm that? I mean, this guy now is not confirming it's a body. He's saying there's a possibility that it's a body. It's not verified. You know, all this verification, that's double speak. It's not been verified by anybody. All that's been said is possibly it's a body. Well, I've been looking at sonar images and what they look like. I've been looking at images that are bodies, and I've been looking at images like this one. Let me just make sure you can see that. It's clear as day. That is a body up in the top right hand corner. This one here is not a body, but it looks like a body. This one is a body, I think. This one here. You know, to me, when you can see bodies, the pictures of the bodies, they're clearly bodies. And then this one isn't a body. The blue one over here on the right, the bigger one, isn't a body, but looks like a body. So, you know, anyway, I've looked at the footage. Doesn't look like a body to me. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I'm not just saying that. I don't see why people are convinced it's a body. There's a, you know, that guy has said it's possibly a body. Possibly. There's a possibility. It's not verified it. It's not said, oh, it's definitely a body. If you looked at this one up here, you can see that's a body as clear as day. Anyway, I do appreciate that as far as fanboys and girls, you fanboys and girls out there are concerned, it won't matter if what I said to you, what I showed you, you think this man is some sort of, I don't know what you think he is. You're so convoluted over his sort of eminence and excellence. You know, he's like, God, he's like the king or something in your world. But you know, your world is a small world. I'm not the only one who feels like this. There's a lot of people who feel exactly the same. More people who feel like that than there are fanboys and girls with your obsessions, you know. Anyway, sorry, I don't know what this is. I just got to read that. I just got to check my messages just in case. So yeah, you're in the minority. You're not in the majority. You know, little fanboys and girls. Anyway, so I just wanted to show that. Now, that's it from me. I am not going to, I say, I won't be mentioning his name. I don't want to look at his face. I don't want to hear his voice. I don't want to watch any crap YouTube channel that's talking about him. I don't want to do any of that. What you want to do or what anybody else wants to do is up to them. I'm just talking about me. I have my own autonomy. I can decide what I do, what I don't do. You know, that's what we can all decide, isn't it? And a lot of people will agree with me. Some people won't agree with me. Even some of my own followers probably don't agree with me. But maybe they'll just accept that I've got a different opinion to them. Some will, some won't. There's nothing I can do. I can't sit on here and say, oh, yeah, oh, you know, oh, that makes a big difference. Oh, that definitely looks like a body. When I'm not feeling it inside, I can't do that. I just can't do it. So that's all there is to it. I don't mean any harm to Mr. Ego. Let him do his own thing. You know, he'll do it anyway. He'll have a book out soon that you can bet. That I would like to put a bet on. There's definitely a book coming out about, and this will be included in the book. It'll be How I Found Nicola Bulley or something like that. The other thing, let me see what. Oh yeah, all my Nicola Bulley content, which is quite a lot. It's going to become. I've been in the process of gradually changing it to members, but it takes time. So if you're a member, you'll see. You might see. You think that there's all these Nicola Bulley videos coming out. They're not. They're old videos. I'm just converting them to members only. Or unlisted. I'm going to have a look at them, decide if I think they're too disrespectful or not. I think even back in the Wild West days, I always tried not to be too disrespectful. But you know what? Maybe sometimes I was, because it was all that crazy time. I hold my hands up and say that I was infected with it too. But not now. Not now. So this guy bringing it all back again, starting it all up again, casting all this shade on people again. You know, it's wrong. It's wrong. He should have gone privately to the family, privately to the authorities, not on a podcast and, oh yeah, the family are aware of this. Prove it. Where's your receipts for that? Prove to us that the family know about this. And you're not saying that they approve of it. You're saying they know about it. How do they know about it? Have you spoken to them? I doubt it. If tomorrow the family comes out and say, oh yeah, we're all okay with it, and go, well, then that's fine. But until that happens, as things are at the moment, nobody's come out from the family to endorse these images or to say, oh, we're glad that he's looking into this or whatever. It is nothing to do with this man. This man has shown no respect for any family, to be honest, that he's ever worked with. So, what else have I got to say? Yeah, but a very important question, which I have mentioned before, is why, how many people did you take this footage to before you found someone Why has it taken all this time? You remember he was saying, oh yeah, I'm going to take it in January, I'll get Christmas out the way, have my holiday. Then in January, I'm going to take it to America for confirmation, verification. Never happened. Or did it happen? Did he try and get it verified? And nobody could verify it, because as far as I know, Sonar experts have not verified it. Suddenly this guy's come out, as I say, not verifying it, saying it's possibly. So that's what I'd like to know. Have you, and what somebody else told me, which was in confidence, so I can't say, is that even his fanboys and girls know that he's tried presenting this Sonar stuff to experts, and that hasn't been able to find anyone who would come out publicly and say, yes, it's a body. They've tried to do it as well. The fanboys and girls have tried to do it because they're so desperate to prove that he is, this godlike creature, even though patently he is not. And they care more about that than they care about Nicola. They don't care. It's nothing to do with Nicola, caring about Nicola. It's all about salvaging someone's reputation because, anyway, no, never mind. So again, exactly, Kay. Animal Auschwitz. Oh, those poor dogs. I mean, just, anyway, I have to try not to think about, because, I say, for my mental health, I can't stop it. I can't stop it happening. It'd be happening all over the world as we speak. It's horrible. But what can we do? What can we do except express? I mean, I did start following PETA, PETA. I followed a lot of, animal rescues and things. And I just, in the end, I had to come off it because it was upsetting me too much. Just the horror stories that you hear, and I think, well, what's the answer then? If I can't bear to see it, literally cannot bear to see it, because it actually affects my functioning, because I can't stop thinking about it. What can I do? What can I do to help? Well, I can talk about it, I suppose, on here, but I don't want to traumatize people either. I mean, these things happen, and these people, they've got power, they've got money, these great big organizations, they're difficult to go up against. And of course, I don't know if you know, but once the UK came out of the European Union, a lot of animal rights things were lost as well, along, because there were European laws. So, we now are sort of, in a situation where we don't have to abide by European laws, but European laws were good for the animals. So, anyway. Yeah. Exactly, Joanna. Even chickens, it's like, it's amazing animal. God, we had a mouse in the house for about 3 months. Very intelligent creatures, rats, even animals, not only dogs, but of course dogs are, man's best friend and woman's best friend. I can't believe they're allowed to do that with dogs. Who decided that was okay? Who decided that? Just beyond me. Anyway, I think there's a special place in hell for people that are cruel to animals, and especially dogs. A very, very special place in hell. And yeah, you're right. I will keep wanting to call you Reese, but of course you're Princess. Yeah, when you're empathetic, it's hard to switch off from it. I was following a dog rescue, you may know it, in Thailand. In fact, Liam Gallagher from Oasis, he adopted a dog from their Buttons, because it's got a big following, on Twitter and that. And I was following that, and then I had to stop following that. I feel awful because just one day he was there, he goes out and feeds all the street dogs in Niall, I think his name is it, Niall Harrison, goes out and feeds all the street dogs in Thailand. And one day he went out on his usual run, and one of the dogs, sorry, I don't mean to make you cry like I am, but this is why sometimes I can't follow these things. One of the dogs that he used to feed every day, and they used to come running up to his motorbike, he'd cycle up there and they'd all run at the side of him because they knew they were going to get fed. And one of them had just laid down and died on the side of the road. And I just, well, you can see what I'm like even now. Just, oh my God, I just can't cope with it. And I follow the wombats things and the bloody kangaroos, and it's all lovely while they're okay. But when they have like a disaster, when one that they try and rescue dies, it takes me days to get over it. And that thing about the dog on that Niall Harris, that was years ago, and it's still here. I just can't. It was just the way. Anyway, it had I don't know how long, but it had a few years, I suppose, of him feeding it, but it never had a home. Oh, the fox got you chickens, Joanna. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, animals kill each other, don't they, as well? But we don't have to do it. The thing is, there's certain things we have to do. We have to eat. We don't have to eat animals. That's one thing. But to these experiments and things like that, oh God, I don't think that, because ultimately, no matter how it affects a beagle, it's still going to be different how it affects us, isn't it? They should let people volunteer to be experimented on. You can think of a few people that you won't mind being experimented on, but they do that, don't they, in the US, I think. Have you ever seen the book, read the book Firestarter by Stephen King? It's very interesting, about experiments. I mean, it's a book, it's a novel, but 100% those sort of things have happened. Students would volunteer, for some extra money to do a trial of a new drug or something like that. So, oh dear. Yeah, I only buy free. Well, do you know what? I think in Spain now, they're all free range. I don't think you can buy eggs. I've noticed in the supermarket, they're all free range. That's right, 2025. Surely there's a way around experimenting on animals by now. And I never buy new cosmetics, because cosmetics that from companies that still experiment on animals. We did all the experimenting, really up to 2000. How many more experiments do you need to do on animals as far as cosmetics are concerned? Surely we've done enough experiments now that we don't have to do any more. We can just use what we already know. We already know what's safe and what isn't. Why? Well, that's a consumerist society, I suppose. But I don't know. Well, now, of course, they're talking about cloning. What are they talking about now? Cloning animals. For meat, so you don't have to kill. You wouldn't have to kill animals because you'd they're not. Well, I don't know. Are they? Are the animals like where they would have feelings, or are they? I don't. They're talking about growing meat, if that makes sense. I don't know. Sometimes, though, you do think, God, if you think too much about everything that's going on in the world. Anyway, so that's the reason as well. Well, I can't do this with Nicola Bulley anymore. Just can't do it. You know, I can't cope with all the nastiness and all the this, that and the other, and the rubbish that's been spoken and the bloody hero worship of a man who doesn't deserve it. I can't cope with it. And I'm the one that will get all the hate. I'm the one that gets all the hate. I haven't done anything. I haven't disrespected Nicola Bulley. You know, I get the hate. People saying I'm grifting off Nicola. I'm trying not to do videos about Nicola, for fuck's sake. You know, get that into your head. I mean, they're not the most clever people, these trolls. You know, how can you say that someone's grifting when you're trying not to do videos about them, but somebody else keeps bringing things up, you know, or making things up? So, you know, apparently, you know, some old woman murdered Nicola. You know, it's just, if you've got no proof, you should not be able to say, like I could come on here and say, oh, Peter Falding murdered Nicola. Well, why shouldn't I just say it? You know, other people are saying it about other people. Oh, such and such murdered Nicola or pushed her in the water or did no evidence. People don't seem to think they need evidence these days. I've noticed that all over on not only social media, but mainstream media. And this, of course, Donald Trump's got a lot to do with it because he just says things. He don't feel like he has to provide any facts to support what he says. You know, it used to be that you couldn't just come out and say something. So you can't just sit and say, oh, yeah, I think, you know, Peter Falding murdered Nicola or anyone. That literally you should not be allowed to say. But there's YouTubers out there saying it about other people. So. Oh, thank you, Joanna. But that's it. One thing that I never do is jump on the bandwagon. You know, maybe, you know, people can agree with me or they don't agree with me. But, you know, with most cases, there's a majority, you know, there's like a, how can I explain it? What I've noticed is some creators go with what the popular opinion is, what they think will get them the most clicks, whether it be a conspiracy theory, accusing someone who there's no evidence that they've done anything wrong. I mean, the thing is, even if it turns out later maybe they've done something wrong, you still can't accuse them of that until you know for certain that they've done it. Can't, you know, and you shouldn't be able to. You know, it's unless there's overwhelming evidence. You know, like it's even it just waiting at least till it's gone to court, because once it goes to court, at least they won't be able to get it to court unless there were evidence. But I'm talking about cases where people are saying things before anyone's even been arrested or charged. You know, oh, and with Nicola, you know, it was like mad at the time, the whole thing. Everybody was interested because it is mysterious. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of strange things about Nicola's case, you know, going from before she fell in the river, or according to the inquest fell in the river. You know, there was the welfare check, there's the bang on the head, but you know, series of coincidences, or have they got something to do with it? There's a lot of strange things about Nicola's case, and I can see why people thought it was strange, because I thought it was all strange too. But what I'm trying to say is, now years later, now it's like an old wound being opened up again. How will that family feel? Just life calming down maybe a bit? Because there was also lots of rumours that were unfounded. Remember, there was rumours that Paul had been arrested, his door broken in by the police. I mean, it just seems ridiculous now. But at the time, it was like, oh, has it? You know, because, and I'm talking about me now too, because it was this total sense of craziness going on. What were the other things that, oh, there's loads of them. Anyway, if you look on my Nicola Bulley playlist, there's about 170 videos, I think, because there was always something. And of course, then there was the inquest, and then the documentary, and then the cop report, and this, that, and the other. So, you know, there was a lot of things to comment on. But I'm not doing it anymore. So that's what I'm here really to say is not giving Mr. Ego publicity. I'm not giving other YouTube channels that I don't like particularly publicity. I'm not doing it. And that's what it's all about. It's all about just attention, in my opinion. So I'm not doing it. So unless something proper comes up, something official, you know, if he takes it to Keir Starmer like he says he's going to, and then we have a government inquiry, well, yeah, of course I'll be covering that. But not this. Not this. I don't see anything in it that is legitimate. I think it'll be like a flash in the pan. And I think then the book will follow in the new year, probably. Right, I've got all that out of my system. Thank you for watching. I hope I haven't upset anybody, but you know, I've got to just say what I think. That is me. Everything I've said, that's how I feel for whatever reason. And particularly this about the dogs at the Huntingdon Life Sciences, to me, that says a lot as well. You know, you've got to take all that into consideration. And yeah, if anybody's ever in a position to ask him a question, and ask him that. Why did he take it off his website? Was he ashamed of it? Or was it just because he knew that people wouldn't like it? Is he trying to pretend now that he never did it? That would be my big question to him. Okay, so that's all, folks. Thank you so much for enduring my rants. I feel better now I've got it all out of my system. I'll see you really soon in the next video, which will not be about Nicola. And listen, rest in peace, Nicola. I think about Nicola a lot. I really do. And I more think about those girls as well. You know, they're growing up without a mum. So the thing is, the other thing you've got to think about, so not only they're going to have all this to contend with, they haven't got a mum to talk about it to. Do you know what I mean? And with the best will in the world, I'm sure Paul's a great dad. I don't know. But, you know, it's not the same as having your mum to talk to, is it? So thank you so much. I love you all loads. Take care. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God, as always, go with you. Bye.